Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. It's your girl, Sonia McQueen, with It's Your Life. What are you doing with it? So, first, I want to apologize if there's a lot of noise in the background. I don't have my microphone, and I wanted to give you guys just a quick thought of mine. So, I'm doing it without a microphone, without headphones, just with noise in the background. So, forgive me. But just know that I couldn't go the next 5 days without speaking to you all. And I want to speak today about grace and mercy, providing it to yourself. My stepdaughter, Farah, was staying the night, and her and I went to the store. And we were having a great conversation, and we get in the store, and she goes to get her snacks, and I went to get oxtails. So when we got ready to check out, the cashier didn't look at me. She didn't say hi. She didn't speak to Farah. She didn't say a word. And after she rang up the few items, she just stood there. She just stood there. And the amount at the store I was at, it doesn't show on the display in front of you. It shows on the display in front of her. So I'm looking at her and she was just looking at me. She didn't smile. She was just standing there staring like she was saying, "What?" So finally I kind of looked to the side and I looked at the amount and I said 63.78. I know it was 60 something, but I don't know the. So she looked and said, "Yes." I smiled. I swiped my card, and she started speaking to the guy behind her in Spanish. So I stood there just staring at her the whole time, never opened her mouth to me. So when she took the receipt off, I snatched it. And she looked, when I tell you guys the look of anger on her face, the way I snatched that receipt, now, you might say, well, she deserved that. And I would tend to agree. But two things I want to point out. Number one, my 14-year-old daughter was with me. That's number one. And number two, I'm continuously speaking about grace and mercy. And I have spoke before about rudeness and how sometimes it's just um, it rolls down. So maybe the person before me or the person before that person was rude and she's holding on to that. Or maybe she just doesn't have good customer service. It's not for me to decide. What is up to me is how I react to her reaction. And I promise you a couple years ago, I would have thought she better be glad that's all she got. She better be glad I didn't open my mouth and let her know you are in the wrong field. You shouldn't be working here, and all the other things I would have said back in the day. But instead, I actually felt a little bit of embarrassment of my reaction to her. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I had the choice to say, you know what? I hope your day gets better. Or, you know what? Have a blessed day. God bless you. But instead, I snatched the heck out of that receipt and looked at her like I dare you to say something. And looked at the guy behind her, rolled my eyes, and kept it moving. But because I quickly felt vindic, I felt vindicated on one hand. Yeah, that's the word I was trying to say. But on the other hand, I felt convicted. So once we got in the car, before we even got in the car, I said to Farah, I said, I really despise bad customer service. And her response was, you and my dad both. I said, I really, really do. I said, however, I should have just expressed myself verbally instead of the way I did. Now, Farah didn't say anything. Um, But it bothered me enough to say that out loud to her because, y'all, I'm trying to be in a different space. I'm in my 50s. I don't need to match anybody's negative energy. I don't need that when I have so much joy and positivity in my life. When I am in such a great space in my life, why do I need to bow down to your level when, if anything, I should be rubbing off on you a little bit for you to try to want to come to my level? And I don't mean my level of stature, my level of, being able to afford, or what I think or feel you might think about me, because remember, I'm not working. I'm building my own company from the ground up, which costs a lot of money, and I'm bringing in none. So what I mean is the joy God has placed in my life, in my heart, the happiness I feel. Why am I around you and you're staring at me and you're not greeting me and you're not speaking to me? So I think, well, let me show you how your actions are making me feel by acting the way you're acting on your level. Nothing I did spoke godliness. Nothing I did spoke. Forget her actions. I don't know what she believes in. I don't know where her heart, where her values, where her loyalty lies. If she has a belief in anything higher, but I know I do. So because I do, I should always act better than somebody who's bringing those kind of vibes into my life. That way, I'm not only discounting your vibes. Hey, I'm not joining in on your foolishness, and I am not going to bow down to your negativity. What I am going to do is bring some grace and mercy into this little area, and I'm going to leave you with it. Whether you accept it or not, it's the way I feel like I should carry myself, and especially in front of my 14-year-old stepdaughter. Daughter. I just wanted to bring you guys a little word to let you know that when somebody is low, you go high, and that's a real thing. Even when they're being a little nasty, you remain faithful and smiling and good. Now, it's harder when people are using boy, y'all know it's harder when people are using negative words, but it's true. Strangers' words can't hurt you. Strangers' words can't hurt you. And the louder somebody is, usually the weaker they are mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. The louder they are, the weaker they are. You ever heard the loudest dog has the weakest bite? Okay, that's a bad example because all dogs can bite and they all hurt. But it's a true statement. The person who is the loudest and always has to be loud and seen is usually the most insecure, the weakest link. I've always been a quiet person. And people's words outside of my family have never really done any damage to me at all. Um, I could give you story after story, but I'm not going to. What matters is what you're doing with those hands. And even now at this point of my life, I don't get into any kind of situations where I got to figure out what somebody's doing with their hands. It misses me because I carry myself in such an honorable way, I believe. So, you guys, I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to end this podcast. When somebody is low and you say you have belief, give them grace and mercy and just smile. And at the end of that session, when she's not speaking or he's not speaking, they're not acknowledging you, they're just standing there looking at you, you smile and give them God's blessing. All right, it's been your girl, Sonia McQueen. With your mind, your body, your choice, you know how to find me and where to find me. I am Sonia M. at ledbymotivation.com or ledbymotivation07 at gmail.com. My son is on his way here from Dallas. Him and I are going to hop a plane, so I'm packing. And we're going to go to Dallas for a day so I can see his place, maybe see his place of work and meet his coworkers. And then we're off to Colorado, where for the very first time, he's going to meet my 86-year-old dad, his grandfather. So y'all wish us traveling mercies. And I am going to try my best to do a podcast. I'm not taking my computer. So I'm going to try to do my best to post one of the other ones that I have that I never posted. And if I don't, I will see you again next Monday. Be blessed.